Welcome back to Social Life in Peel. I'm Adam Dunfee, very pleased to be joined by Deidre Wilson, who is the president of Adopt Me Canada Cat Rescue. Deidre, thank you for stopping by.
Thank you for having me.
So give us a little info on what your organization does.
Okay, so I originally started out rescuing cats and kittens. I was partnered with shelters, rescued them from the streets, owner surrender. And 5 years of that was a little exhausting. I sort of refer to cat rescue as trying to bail yourself out of Titanic with the Dixie cup. It's very, very tiring. Like, it consumes everything you have. So about 3 years into that, I started doing some animal activism. And I really wasn't aware of what declawing was until I was in my early 20s. I knew it wasn't a good thing, but I didn't exactly know too much about it. In running a cat rescue, I knew that was one thing we did not do. We did not adopt people that declawed cats. So that was the standard thing on my adoption form. No, you're not permitted to declaw, etc., etc. So 5 years, I started the campaign, and it just escalated. More awareness came about, which is great, and over 50 veterinarians in Canada now refuse to declaw. So they've taken a stand at their clinics.
Now, when did you really get into the meat of the matter and see that declawing for cats isn't a good thing for them?
Over 3 years ago.
And how did you come to that realization?
I was at a previous vet that I was using, and I walked into a surgery that he was performing, and he was declawing the cat. And I was absolutely mortified. I nearly passed out. And I have a nursing background, so nothing disturbs me, nothing. And after that, I mean, it was over. It was over. I had decided that declawing needed to be banned. Declawing is banned in nearly 30 countries. All Canadian cat rescues and shelters have a no declaw policy for a reason, but seeing the surgery live really hit home. It was disgusting.
Now, not to get too graphic, but what was that procedure like for you to witness?
I think it was just seeing the cat itself on the table, on its back, with its legs tied and its front legs tied. It's terrible. And the method that I saw was the scalpel. So there's 3 ways that you can declaw a cat. You can use a scalpel or something very similar like this, the guillotine.
Oh, that's a nice name for it, isn't
that
it?
nice?
Yes, that's pleasant.
And then there's also a laser. And really, all 3 procedures are the same. It's still mutilation. So it was that really got me going.
Now, obviously declawing, as it says, you're taking the claws away from the cat. What benefits does that have to the owner of the cat? Why would they go and do something like that?
Well, see, the thing is, a lot of owners are misinformed. I mean, we like to think we can trust our doctors. You like to think you can trust your veterinarian. Unfortunately, declawing, and this is not just my opinion, I like to let people know that, declawing is banned in almost 30 countries. In some countries, it's never even been introduced. Declawing is referred to mutilation, amputation, animal cruelty. So basically what it consists of is 10 separate amputations from the bone. So with cat's nails, they actually grow into the bone. So you are disabling the cat. So most owners typically just get the front paws declawed. So the human equivalent is basically to cut off our toes.
Oh.
Yeah, not so hot. So, and they're basically waking up and they have to learn how to re-walk. So you're disabling them, it's amputation. So owners think that it's going to save their furniture, that it's safer for their children. So those are primarily the 2 things, and maybe not scratching. But the downfall is, and I mean, people will shake their heads at me, but declawed cats are more likely to bite, just because they have lost their first defense, which is their claws. They go outside, they've lost that ability, you know, to defend themselves. They also suffer from psychological problems too as well, so such as arthritis, aggression. So people think that they are saving their cats by declawing them, but really you know, in many aspects. It's a death sentence. So many declawed cats are rehome due to their behavioral problems because they're extremely hard to fix. One of the biggest complaints that I hear is the cat stop using the litter box.
Really? Because they've been declawed?
Because they've been declawed, yeah. It's painful. It's very, very painful for them. So they'll pick a few places such as your bed or your couch or maybe by the front entrance and leave you surprises. So, and people will say to me, well, I've had my cat declawed and everything's fine. And then I usually tell them they're lucky. What people don't realize is that in 5 years I adopted out over 3,000 cats.
3,000 cats in 5 years?
Yeah, by myself.
By yourself?
Yeah, I had a few volunteers, but I did everything myself. And my adoptions were done on my couch.
And one thing that you're very proud of and should be is no cat hair today for Deirdre.
10 points.
And it's a black dress.
10 points.
So 3,000 cats
3,000.
over 5 years. So you must have gotten pretty good at getting rid of cat hair, I guess.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I travel with a lint roller. I just can't imagine leaving the house without spending about 10 minutes lint rolling. So what people don't realize is that I've seen such a high volume. So they tell me, you know, I've had 3 cats and they've all been declawed and they've had no problems. What people have not seen is what's behind closed doors at animal shelters. So I would be behind closed doors. I was partnered with Toronto Animal Services and a few other shelters as well. And what you see behind closed doors is rooms and rooms and rooms full of cats. Half of what goes into Canadian shelters does not come out. And a large majority of those cats are declawed cats. And on another thing too, a lot of things go misdiagnosed with declawed cats. A lot of people do not realize that why they stop using the litter box is because they are declawed. And they'll take them to their local veterinarian and say, well, you know, Kitty is peeing and pooping here and blah, 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 blah. And they'll try to treat them for a urinary tract infection. That only makes it worse because they're not sick and they're just going to have diarrhea.
Oof.
Yeah.
So that just sort of compounds the problem of not going. Now, with the example of Drawby, you mentioned that it's basically an amputation.
10
amputations. 10. Could you draw the comparison to maybe just, probably not the best comparison in the world, but maybe you cut your nail just a little too close and, you know, it's rough and you're going into the litter box and basically it's just on raw bone. And is that maybe the reason why they tend not to use the litter box?
It heals up, but they're basically walking on bone. So the human equivalent, like let's just say for our hands, is to cut from the knuckle up.
Oh,
so
the knuckle. Okay, so a lot deeper down.
Oh, it's a lot deeper down, yeah. So it's very, very painful for them, and like I said, they have to learn how to rewalk. The recovery process itself is about 2 to 3 weeks. They're on a lot of painkillers and antibiotics, and the painkillers are very, very strong. Very, very strong.
And Deirdre, you're pretty much a one-woman show when it comes to Adopt Me Canada Cat Rescue. I see you have your bracelets. Is this a fundraising aspect for you?
Yes. So I send out a lot of mail to veterinarian clinics in Canada and other rescues, which I'm hoping that will partner with me. We desperately need to collaborate together. The only reason why declawing is not banned is because people are not talking about it. So it's a huge, huge issue. Like I was saying, all Canadian cat rescues and all shelters have a no declaw policy for a reason. So these bracelets right here, Paws Need Claws, this is just to bring awareness to the campaign itself. Those can be purchased on my blog, adoptmecanada.blogspot.com.
And that is on the bracelet here, adoptmecanada.com.
Yeah, the website's on there and just the slogan of Paws Need Claws.
And there is the slogan. And as I said, you're running pretty much an operation by yourself. If folks want to help out on your adoption front or fundraising, what can they do to give you a hand?
Where I really, really need the big help is just collecting petition signatures and creating awareness, contacting your MPPs, your local shelters, asking them to collaborate, dropping off petitions, you know, at pet stores, and veterinarian clinics. Most of them do declaw, but we're trying to ask them kindly not to declaw. So this petition right here can be downloaded off the website. The mailing address is right on the bottom, so when it's full, boom, pop it in the mail. Goodbye.
And that is adoptmecanada.blogspot.com. Deirdre Wilson, president of Adopt Me Canada Cat Rescue. Thank you so much for your time. More Social Life in Peel coming up next.